Yeah. So, I mean, if this week couldn't suck anymore for me personally, this totally was the icing on the cake of suckage, if you would. Welcome in JE Live, the unfortunate winners of the NFC West edition, but losers of the Niners. The Rams lost the Niners again. I know, shocker, right? They've lost now 6 straight. Really tough, hard fought game, but I'm not going to really hold back here. You're not winning a football game if your offensive line that has been top five pretty much the majority of the season in pass protection and running, run blocking. If your offensive line just picks the worst game to play the worst at, and, looking at this game, the offensive line wasn't good enough. The defense totally wasn't good enough at the end down the stretch. I mean, but this all comes back to, in my opinion, well, I'll say what I said when people kept, tweeting back at me. No, trust me. They're just trying to run the timeouts out and, oh, it'll be fine. And we're just trying to run the clock. No. You assumed defeat and you played conservative. When you play scared to win or scared to lose, you end up losing. And that's what happened with the Rams today. Now, I'm not really going to talk much about the overtime because, Stafford throwing that. I mean, he had OBJ. So it's an underthrown ball. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it was underthrown. I don't know if there was miscommunication. Felt like he didn't even need to throw that pass in general. But obviously OBJ being open led to that. The Rams should have won this game, but they also should have lost this game because the offensive line, again, just wasn't good enough. It wasn't, and I'm sorry, but, I'll bring it up right now. The Rams, people are saying run the ball. Why isn't Sean McVay running the football? Well, Sean McVay is not running the football because he gave Sony Michel 21 carries for 43 yards. I'm not necessarily saying that's Michel's fault. But if you want to sit there and tell me that they were able to run the football in this game, they weren't. And a lot of that is because the offensive line just not being good enough. Stafford was sacked 5 times today. Stafford threw 2 picks. He still threw 3 touchdowns. Obviously you want to see him win those games. But this is a collective team loss. The defense gave up how many yards? Oh, right. They gave up 449 yards on the Niners. They gave up 23 first downs. Niners had time possession of 36 minutes. I mean, it's one of those tough things. I mean, obviously the season isn't over. They have a playoff game, and I guess you could look at it as a spoiled, but you're not winning games if the offense continues to play like this. Hopefully this is a one-time thing. And they just got their face beat in. But this is just it's not good enough. Giving up 100 yards to Ayuk, 95 to Debo, 94 to Jawan Jennings. Tackling was awful. I'm not going to say too many great things. Now, of course, if the Rams win this game, it's a completely different live stream, tone, everything. But, all that matters is the result. And there's no, I'm not going to look at this as, it's different. The Ravens game, they barely won. If they barely lost the game 20-19, completely different conversation we end up having. So this isn't good enough. And, this is a big loss. And on top of it, I would make the argument that you don't want these losses to affect you in the playoffs. You could say, it's good, got a loss out of the way, except here's my thing. This could be bad for the long term because you didn't beat the Niners. And God forbid, if you have to see them again come postseason time, I'm not convinced they can beat the Niners. They dominated that first half. Dominated. Was not close. Absolutely outplayed them. Kicked them in the teeth. And then the second half, nothing. Yeah, sure, they battled back. They took the lead. The Niners did not have the lead until overtime. I mean, it's one of those things, it's hard, but I mean, there's no excuse. I don't care how good this Niners team is. Man, I'll tell you who hates us right now. Our fan base, the team, the Saints fans. Because not only did the Rams knock them out of the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl, but they just knocked them out of the playoffs again. And once again, the Niners knocked the Rams out in 2019. And now, since the Niners couldn't knock the Rams out of the playoffs, they decided to knock the Rams out of second. And they fall all the way to the 4th seed. So those of you who don't know, the Rams are now the 4th seed. They now host a playoff game against the Arizona Cardinals coming off a loss. The same team they already beat in the regular season. And Arizona is a lot better on the road than they are at home. They'll be on the road. So this just isn't very good. This is not good. Dallas is going to get San Francisco. To be honest with you, I have mixed feelings about that game. I could see San Francisco kicking the crap out of Dallas now that Dallas actually has to play a legit team. But at the same time, I'm not convinced San Francisco is even that great. I just think they have the Rams' number. It's just like Jacksonville. Guys, Jacksonville is not a good football team. They just have the Colts' number. And it goes back way beyond their new coach. Sometimes teams are like that. I mean, Seattle today, they knocked off the Cardinals. Seattle actually helped the Rams out. How about that? But that's not my point. My point is this, okay? Rams were on a really nice winning streak here, had a chance to go into the playoffs at 13-4, the same exact record as the first seed. They would have been tied for the best record in the NFL. And to be honest with you, they should have won this game. Like I said, they also should have lost this game. But when you look at it, let's see, play by play. Let's go back to scoring plays. Oh, that's right. That's right. So the Rams took the lead 24-17. They got a stop, and it was under 2 minutes, and they still just continued to run and run and run, and that was not the case. So, Yeah, I mean, Coach, Jimmy Garoppolo played all right, but I would not say that was a Garoppolo win. I don't think Garoppolo helped them. I think having guys like Ayuk, having guys like, Jawan Jennings, and having guys like Deebo Samuel winning after. See, this was not a Garoppolo game. This is why people don't like Jimmy Garoppolo that aren't Niners fans, because this isn't Garoppolo. This system is so great. This is what happens when you have, and I've been giving Garoppolo credit, okay? I really have. Up until the Titans game, I was saying, he's playing pretty well. But, I mean, come on. Let's be honest here. This is like going to the valedictorian and being like, hey, will you be my partner? And having the valedictorian do all of your work in high school, all your work on this project, and your name is on it, so, I did too. I'm sorry. This is a scheme, and this is the fact that they have just the right guys that can get the job done. Great after the catch. Deebo Samuel is going to run roughshod of this defense every single time he gets a chance to, because here's the fact. The Rams' tackling is suspect, okay? There's too much just diving at legs. Need to wrap up more. I hate that I'm sounding like a casual because I'm not, but it's literally that basic. Watch how many missed tackles they have when you go back and watch this game, because I know some of you will torture yourself just like I will. They miss so many tackles. It is inexcusable. It is inexcusable. Cooper Kupp didn't get either record to make, to add, insult to injury there. The Rams probably also lost Jordan Fuller. He had a significant ankle injury, it looked like, in the game, so to add insult to injury. I'm kind of done watching Nick Scott at this point. Another missed tackle. Saw Burgess go in there, make a nice play. Really nice stop by Jalen Ramsey getting that interception. That was crucial. I thought Ramsey stepped up. I thought you saw some great contributions out of Trayvon Howard, who actually had to clean up a lot of those missed tackles way downfield. That's the benefit of having his athleticism. But in this game, they just, they got 3 sacks on Garoppolo. They just got to be better. I mean, you know, this isn't good enough. And the good thing about this, the only good thing you can take away about this is that Rams are still 12-5. You know, they're still going to host a playoff game. Regardless of hosting it or not, they're still in the playoffs. They won the NFC West. It may not feel like it, but at the same time, they did also do that. The offensive line wasn't good enough. Defense played with a significant edge in the first half. Kind of lost that edge down the stretch. Then completely lost it in the second. And once again, it proves my point. I don't care what anyone says. It's not debatable. Okay, I'm done with it. No more. You don't run 3 straight times and punt the ball. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. It doesn't work. Go be Ron Rivera. Go have a 31-0 lead or whatever he had against Seattle and almost lose that game to go to the Super Bowl against the Broncos. By all means, go do that. Go be scared of losing and have a chance to actually lose. I'm so done with conservative play calling. It's not just McVay. It's anybody, okay? It is already proven that it does not work. It doesn't. I don't care about your analytics. I don't care about any of that, okay? If the Rams, who, by the way, Matthew Stafford threw 238 yards, 3 touchdowns. The receivers are averaging 11.3 yards per reception on 21 receptions. The Rams could have converted that first down had they not run 3 times. Everyone in the building knew what they were doing. Obviously, the Niners did. We at home were praying they weren't going to do what we knew they were going to do. And so what it came down to is, okay, they're going to punt it and give the Niners all that time to come back. And then on top of it, to make matters worse, they're going to play prevent defense. And they're going to try to make the excuse, oh, well, they're not down by 3. It's not like a field goal ties it, but a touchdown does. So we'll play prevent. We'll give them all those yards. No. It was a failed attempt. It's the reason they lost. It's that simple. If you play conservative, you deserve to lose. It's that simple. And you guys, I got to give McVay credit during the game. I thought he did well, especially with the fact that the offensive line was horrid. But, you know, you got to blame him for that point in the game. That is crucial. I mean, let's just go to the play-by-play here. Let's just go to that point. Okay, so let's go here. So we had the end of half. Not that one. It was the punt. Okay. All right, here it is. Ready? So the Rams, they get the Niners to punt. Keep in mind the Niners are now stopped, and they have to punt it at the, let's see, their own 17-yard line they're punting. With 1:56 to go, and at this point, I haven't looked at it yet. I will get it for you, the win probability at that point. Yes, please hit the like if you can and subscribe. So they punt it at 1:56. The Rams get it. Obviously, they're all about, you know, running out the clock. I assume that's what they were going to do because Brandon Powell fair catches it. Obviously, they would have just had Brandon Powell, you know, the way he was returning, they would have had him return it. But no, okay? So that happens, right? Then you get a 2-yard run from Sony Michel in a formation. It looks like it was a 13 personnel formation. Timeout, San Francisco. Okay, they used their timeout. It took 4 seconds off the clock. You ready for this? Okay. Now they're going to run it left tackle. Sony Michel, 1 yard. Timeout. Took 4 seconds off the clock. If you're doing the math, that took 8 seconds off the clock. Okay? So 8 seconds, 140. Sony Michel, left tackle again, 2 yards. Timeout. Ooh, we took 6 seconds off the clock. So let me get this straight. Because analytics apparently are always right. It was so worth it for the Niners to spend all of their timeouts. That 16 seconds that they took off the clock was worth it? Just to get rid of the timeouts? Are you freaking kidding me? Really? When you have what Cooper Kupp just did on that last touchdown drive and you're not even going to throw one to him on 3rd down? You're not even going to run play action? By the way, I don't know where play action was in this game. I just know it was very non-existent. I'm sure he ran it a few times. I'll have to go back and watch, but it didn't feel like they ran enough play action on top of it. But regardless, that's not the point. The point is that they just ran it And they played the conservative approach, the Ron Rivera Carolina Panthers approach, where they almost blew their chance to go to the Super Bowl years ago. This is what I'm talking about. That does not win football games. Period. Exclamation point. Whatever. Like, if you believe that, you are right. Like, because, look, today, the Rams lost a game in which Johnny Hekker is punting the ball at 1:33 mark in the fourth. Fair caught by Benjamin at the San Francisco 12. Like, hey, they don't have any more timeouts, so I guess we're good. It's like that whole conservative play calling, nonsensical BS starter pack. You guys ever see those starter pack memes? That's what that is. It's a starter pack meme. The conservative head coach starter pack. Run the ball 3 times when you're up by 1 possession. Only take 16 seconds off the clock. Punt it away. Give your opponent almost 2 minutes to go down the field. And on top of that, because it's not easy enough in this conservative, this conservative starter pack, play prevent defense so they can just run down your throat with short passes. And of course, the way these receivers are built like running backs, they can just break a tackle and end up gaining, turning a 10-yard quick slant into a 20, 30-yard gain. All right, here's this is a good example here. So, the 49ers, when the Rams take a 24-17 lead, not even going to do that. So when Sony Michel, let's see here. When Sony Michel had the ball, I'm trying to look at the win probability. It's not working for me. Okay, here's how it goes. Ready? So Sony Michel left tackle at the 1:44 left in the game. The Rams have an 84.2% chance of winning the game at that point. 93.1 when Jimmy Garoppolo throws a pass short middle to Jawan Jennings for 5 yards. And they give up the tie. The Rams had a 99.9% chance of win probability, after Garoppolo threw an incomplete pass to Deebo Samuel at the 14-yard line with 35 seconds to go. No, I'm not being irrational. I really hate conservative play calling. I hate the fact that you play not to lose and it ends up enabling you to lose. And I hate the fact that it almost takes away all of the good that they did this year. And I know maybe I'm overreacting a bit, but there's something about this team. They have a chance to be up here. But they had 17 points. This is what's not being said enough. They had 17 points in the first half. And they only mustered 7 the rest of the game. Inexcusable. And now I understand, the buzzwords, they're not physical enough, or they're soft, or I don't care about all that. I don't care. I don't care who's more physical, okay? I don't care. None of that, I do not care about that. I don't care that, they're offensive. No. I don't. What I care about is when you have a 17-point lead and you just let it go like that. And, here's the thing. For everyone that was asking to run the football instead of throwing the ball, you realize Sean McVay put them in that position because he was trying to overcompensate and establish the run, right? When he had Stafford in the empty set, it's because the offensive line didn't give him any sort of protection and they couldn't run the ball. And despite not being able to run the ball, it was the opposite. In November, on Monday Night Football, the Rams abandoned the run, and they couldn't throw the ball. They could run the ball, but they stopped. This was the opposite. They over-established. They tried to establish, and there was nothing there. They tried so hard to establish the run that they went away from what was working in the passing game. Such a bummer. To lose a game like that is such a bummer. And what's a bummer is it's all on Stafford now because he threw the pick. And, I get it. But I don't think Stafford played bad. I mean, I really don't. Sure, the interception, it kills, but they shouldn't have even been in that position. I don't know what McVay was doing running the ball 3 times. Again, I don't care. But, I think what it comes down to is the reason I'm so aggravated is because I know how this stuff works. I know how momentum is. Don't be surprised if the Niners run the Dallas Cowboys out of Jerry World. Honestly, don't. Because the Niners can build off this. And the Rams really would have been an unstoppable force, I believe, had they won this game. Now they're going to have to figure out another way. Now it resets. They got their loss out of the way. Now they got to go undefeated the rest of the year. Not unheard of. They just went 5 straight. But, having to play Arizona again, probably not the team you wanted to play. That is definitely not the team I wanted to play. I wanted to play the Eagles. God, Tampa could not have it easier. Tampa could not have it easier, man. They couldn't beat the Saints twice, like the Rams. They're Niners. They couldn't beat them. They couldn't beat Washington. They couldn't beat the Rams. They lost the tiebreaker to the Rams, and still, because they get to play the Panthers at the end of the year and the Jets, they end up getting the 2 seed. God, are they lucky. So, it's going to be tough. I mean, to come back from this, the Rams are going to have to get ready because this is a major letdown. Sean McVay has gone 0-6. This Rams team has gone 0-6 against the Niners the last 6 meetings. There's no nice way to say it. That's how it is. That's the reality of the situation. I mean, it's just not good enough. So, looking at it, as of right now, as of right now, the way it looks is there's only 1 game left, the Chargers and Raiders. Should that game tie, both teams make it. But as long as it doesn't tie, Steelers are in the playoffs. It's going to be Steelers as the 7th seed taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennessee as the 1st seed. And either the Raiders or the Chargers. Actually, the Chargers, if they make the playoffs, they have the 6th seed playing Buffalo. If the Raiders win in Vegas, then the Patriots would play the Buffalo Bills as the 6th seed. The Raiders would go to Cincinnati for the first round of the playoffs. On the NFC side, the Packers have the bye. You would have Philadelphia heading to Tampa in the first round. You would have Dallas hosting the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Arizona Cardinals. That's how that works. Now, do we have any schedule out? That's the question. Let's see. No, I guess the schedule doesn't come out until the game is figured out tonight. Oh, well. So we'll know more about that. Perhaps I'll go live after the game and we'll talk a little bit about that. But, yeah, just, that's brutal, man. That's brutal. No other way to put it. I mean, it's a brutal way to lose. And, I just... Yeah, that's just brutal. I keep seeing rest in peace Bob Saget. So he died? That's awful. Oh, he did. Yeah, that's horrible. Wow, this week really just sucks. Yeah, this week definitely not easy. Definitely not easy. I mean, you guys already know I'm not going to, over and over and over again or rehash it, but yeah. No, I agree with you, Lucas. I think you're definitely onto something there with the injury to Jordan Fuller. 100% agree. Let's see. For those of you who donated, really appreciate you. Sorry I missed I didn't get an alert or anything like that. Or at least I guess I wasn't paying attention enough. My bad on that part. Let's see here. Everyone, make sure to give this a thumbs up and like this. We're at over we're over 340 people here. So yeah, make sure you're giving it a like and subscribe. Really help me out. Viewer activity, is this it? It says no new super chats or members yet, but I see super chats and I can't. Okay. Darius, thank you so much for donating. Tough loss, but I think we can adjust to our second half issues and win against them if need be. I hope you're right. Again, thank you so much for donating. Brandon, thank you so much for donating. Hey, Jake, O-line was terrible. Secondary, besides Ramsey, was okay, but messed up the game at the end. And can we please get better inside linebackers who can tackle? Char Binks, thank you so much for donating. O-line dropped like cardboards. McVay decides to throw on 3rd and 1. Staff threw 2 hand punts. Def can't stop the run. Never watching Rams-Niners again. Matthew, thank you so much for donating. Samuels will make even average tacklers look silly. Also, McVay seems to like going empty on 3rd downs. Yeah. Man, it's one of those things, you know, it's so tough to lose to your rival. It's even tougher to lose when you deserve, like, you let yourself lose. Like, I feel like the Rams gave this game away more than the Niners won this game. It'd be different if the Niners stopped the Rams, but I feel like the Rams really stopped themselves on that last drive right before the 4th quarter. Like I said, overtime, there's not really much to talk about, you know? Obviously, if Stafford doesn't underthrow it, Ambry Thomas is beat by a mile. So the thing I find funny is that this guy's celebrating like he did all this. Ambry Thomas got burned out of the freaking water by OBJ, and he only caught it because it was so underthrown. So it's not like he did anything. I don't know. It's the same thing with, Stephon Gilmore in the Super Bowl. I mean, Goff has Cooks. He just underthrows him by so much, and Gilmore all of a sudden feels so great. It's like, it's one of those things where being bad at your job helps you, right? If you're a bad corner and you get burned, then, guy underthrows it, you could be the greatest corner ever. It's one of those things. But we got conservative when we should have ended the game, run the ball 3 times to try and run out the clock, and we haven't been able to run it all. Yep, exactly. Simply put. If they get a first down, the game's different. Absolutely different. If they get a first down there, if they actually just throw the freaking ball instead of trying to run 3 times, ooh, we got rid of their timeouts. If they throw the ball, there's probably a very good chance they got a first down, okay? Niners had a hard time stopping this offense. I may be totally wrong, but I think the offensive line play needs most of the blame. No, you're right, Matthew. I mean, the offensive line play was pathetic. They couldn't run the ball at all. After all this time, they picked the worst time possible. The Rams just lost to the 49ers, who did not have Azeez Al-Shaair at linebacker, and they did not have Trent Silverback-Williams at left tackle. That needs to be talked about. Also, because you mentioned, I'm going to say this right now, I don't really get too involved with the players are dirty. I don't know the intentions. I assume all these guys that are brotherhood, whatever. Dre Greenlaw is a dirty player, man. Dre Greenlaw is the dirtiest player I've seen this season, by far. I don't care, Niners fans in the comment section can tell me I'm wrong. Dre Greenlaw is the dirtiest player I've seen all season long. Between trying to literally rip freaking Cam Akers' head off, but before that, I mean, he was trying to, he was like, ripping at his, surgically repaired Achilles tendon he's back from 6 months later. I mean, then the BS hit on Van Jefferson, helmet to helmet. Yeah, that guy, I mean, he's going to get somebody seriously hurt. And, to me, I thought that was very dirty. I really did. I was not a fan of that face mask where he clearly sees he has a lot of torque on Cam Akers' neck. He's already down and he's tugging on his ankle. And then, of course, like I said, the helmet to helmet. Even the helmet to helmet, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in a sense. But you take one of those away and you have two other instances, you're a dirty player. You really are. And that was the dirtiest I think I've ever seen a player play in the NFL without, up and just going over and punching somebody in the face. I mean, 57 was completely out of control. And, he needs to be held accountable. I mean, he should have been ejected. It's that simple, but that's what I will say about that. I didn't think the referees were that bad. They let guys hold all game long, both the Rams and Niners. They called a crucial hold against the Niners after they missed one. Pretty obvious one. So, there's that. I was a little annoyed about, the whole thing with, Bates is all right. So Coach T Bates is a Niners fan, and even he's saying that Dre Greenlaw played dirty. So actually, I don't want to hear from Niners fans because, I mean, he's an unbiased Niners fan, and I trust him. So yeah, I knew it wasn't just my fan bias or whatever getting to me. I know a dirty player when I see one. It's not just it was a hard hit. Oh, the German suplex he did on Cam Akers too. Man, he really hated Cam Akers, didn't he? He was only in the game for like 7 snaps, and 3 of them, Dre Greenlaw tried to break his neck twice and, tear his Achilles tendon again. So, Dr. Detroit, thank you so much for donating. Jake, will you say I was right about Stafford? He shrinks in big moments. Cheers, at least you are in the playoffs and our season is over. I'm going to disagree, and here's why, okay? He was huge against the Ravens. That's his first interception thrown in a fourth quarter / overtime, point in the season. He had the best passer rating in the second half of any quarterback in the league. And to be honest with you, it's an underthrown ball, but I mean, I don't fault him. It wasn't like it was a bad decision because Odell was open. He just underthrew him. It's unfortunate, and I've seen him throw interceptions. But I don't think Matthew Stafford, totally, he's not somebody that just chokes in the moment. He has the most fourth quarter comeback games, come from behind games in the league for a reason, and I think it's one of those things where it's really hard when you throw an interception like that. But I don't think he's played to the level of where we have to, basically wonder if this guy has the clutch factor, because he has that clutch factor. Okay, it was an underthrown ball, and that's it. I mean, it honestly looked like Ambry Thomas didn't even get his feet in bounds. I understand, like, 1 cheek equals 2 feet in bounds, but it almost looks like that same foot got out before. They weren't going to overturn it anyway. I'm sure the league office would rather have the Niners in the playoffs than the Saints. But regardless of that, I just think that Stafford had a really good season. He had his, moments regular season-wise, and now he's got to really step up in the playoffs. And this defense needs to play the way they did in the first half during the playoffs. And, they can't. Hopefully this is the thing that finally gets it through Sean McVay's head. Playing conservative will lose you games. And I watched this, and that's what I'm hoping. If I could take any silver lining away from this game, I'm hoping for God that Sean McVay looks at this game and says, wow, my conservative play calling at the end cost us the game that we had in hand. So I'm going to say that over and over and over again. I'm hoping that that's the case. I don't know. We got a long week to prepare for Rams Cardinals. I'm going to be doing previews and things like that. We'll have a podcast, Alexis and I. I don't know if we'll record tonight because, oh my God, I'm not going to have a voice. I was furious with this game. But, I just... Yeah, exactly. It was bang, bang. I'm not going to make a big deal about it because regardless, it's not like the Rams win the game if he drops it. You know what I mean, Coach? So, hats off to the Niners. I mean, they did their job. Their fans deserve to be able to celebrate, just like the Jaguars fans, deserve to be able to celebrate beating the Colts. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, all these teams we talk about all the time in the NFL, these teams are not that far apart from each other, and I mean, aside from, the really bad teams like the Giants playing Jake Fromm. But I mean, when you look at it, we're talking 1 to 2 plays, 3, maybe 4 plays dictate how a game goes. And so, I mean, that's really what it came down to in this one. And I mean, it's a rivalry game. Niners knew, they got the call. I mean, you know, you have, I saw them. They had the Saints game in the background. They saw the Saints were going to beat the Falcons. They knew they had to win to be in the playoffs. So, you know, I definitely think it makes sense. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's definitely painful. And, you know, we won't know until we see them this upcoming week. And I'm really curious to see, are they playing on Saturday? Are they playing on Sunday? Are they playing on Monday? They'll probably give them the stupid freaking Monday Night Football game, so I will freak out. But it's going to be, you know, a crazy one here at the channel. And no win is guaranteed. So while I have this team, I still think they'll win the Super Bowl. It's not a guarantee. You know, they need to knock off Arizona and move on from there. What this does, though, keep this in mind. This changes everything because the Green Bay Packers are on a bye. So, assuming all of the top seeds win, the Green Bay Packers will play the Rams in a rematch in the divisional round of the playoffs. Dallas will play Tampa. Now, the Rams, they win, and either San Francisco or Philadelphia beats Tampa Bay or Dallas. If either of those teams wins, then the Green Bay would play the winner of that because they would get the lowest seed. So, if you're following me, say Philadelphia loses to Tampa, okay? So Tampa's the second highest seed, so they'd get the second lowest seed, right? If Dallas loses to San Francisco, which I honestly could see happening, I kind of want to happen, honestly. I kind of want to see that. Then Green Bay would get San Francisco in the divisional round. The Rams would play Tampa again. Really, I don't think this does not seat well for the Rams. Typically, you don't want to play a team you already beat in the regular season. They're now playing Arizona. They can end up playing Tampa. Looks like the only team they might not play is Dallas. But, I mean, we'll see. You know, anything can happen. You know, the Packers played first half of this game to try to get them ready and keep them on the same, the same gear. Dallas played their starters, so we'll see how well that goes for them. Tampa, I mean, they played their starters today. Philadelphia, they sat their starters, so we'll see how that works. And San Francisco, they played their starters, and Arizona played their starters, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, the Rams are looking at only one home game in the playoffs, guaranteed. And if Philadelphia and San Francisco win, they would then play another home game, either hosting San Francisco or Philadelphia. Either hosting San Francisco is the only home game that they'd be able to get. But yeah, this loss sucks. It really does. It hurts them in the playoff standings. It just is really disappointing to finish a regular season like this. Cooper Kupp didn't even break the damn record, and they went to overtime. All of it sucks, but that's it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else to say. I really do appreciate you guys. Be sure to like this video, hit the thumbs up for me. Would really appreciate that. We have over 300 people in here, but we only have 100 likes. So before I head out of here, let's please make sure to hit that thumbs up. Let's get it up. Let's get up to 200. I'd love 300, but let's see if we can get up to 200 before I head on out. And thank you so much for donating, J Squirrels. That loss was so disappointing that it made our division titles still feel like a loss. I hope they take this as a fuel and not as a downer. No, I agree with you. 100%. It felt different. Absolutely. But, you know, the hope is that they'll be ready to bounce back and go up against Arizona. They stay at home. I don't know if that's good or bad at this point. Who knows? Seems like this team is almost better on the road. But that's just me. Well, actually, it proves it. Because, they have a better record on the road? I don't know. Yeah, they're 5-3 at home. And they finished the season 7-2 on the road. So, yeah, they're better. They're better on the road, technically, but whatever. Yeah, bummer. Let's keep the likes going before I head on out of here. 135. Let's get it up. Thumbs up, whatever you call it. Just hit the thumbs up button underneath the video. All right, 140. Let's get to 200, guys. Oh, we're over 3,000 views for the stream. Love to see it. Love to see it. Too bad the Rams didn't come through the way you guys did. Oh, man. All right, 150 likes. Would really appreciate 200, but I'm not going to beg anymore. So, I'm out of here. Might come back on after the game to talk about the NFL playoffs and, kind of preview a little bit because we don't know exactly how it's going to go. But pretty much we kind of do. Coach Johnny Salinas, thank you. Salinas, sorry, I probably butchered that. Thank you so much for donating. Really appreciate that. Jake, is that William Shatner mask or Michael Myers mask from Halloween? It is the Michael Myers 2018 mask. Thanks for asking. I love it, so I keep it in the background. I'm not really a Fire Morris guy. At the end of the day, I felt like there's a lot that went down. I mean, I thought Coach Carbs did a great job this year with the offensive line, and they failed in this one too. So, I don't know. It just weird day. Should have won, but whatever. All right, we move on. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. You can follow me at JKBogan. You can also follow Downtown Rams at Downtown Rams. You will find our podcast over on Downtown Rams. Alexis and I will be recording, if not later tonight, we'll be recording tomorrow. We'll drop tomorrow. But that's going to do it for us. Or for me. So for that, yeah, such a letdown, really. Just feel it's painful. God, I'm glad this week is over, though. You guys have no idea. Actually, you probably do. But all right, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.